Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for, my friend.
Oh, we'll talk a little NBA play-in. We'll get into WrestleMania. Hopefully, if not, tomorrow will be just strictly WrestleMania talk.
We've been talking about this all week, and yet we've had a guest-filled week, which we're not complaining about whatsoever.
But we've been Kill Billed.
Yeah, we really have. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about any of these people.
And we're going to follow that suit, as today we're going to talk to Steve Byrne, who will be performing at the Well Comedy Club tomorrow night, as well as, it's Thursday. So Anthony Jauregui has his open mic, so he'll be joining us at 8 o'clock. And Bolt Brady talking NBA playoffs, NBA play-in, best bets. He'll be joining us like usual at 8:30, and you can call or text in anytime at 661-842-2000.
I do.
And my Mariners keep blowing it and blowing it.
Your Mariners, my Phillies. We can't win a dang game against the Cubs,
apparently.
We were
beating the crap out of the Padres through 6 innings and go through 4 relievers and choke the game away.
At least you didn't blow a 3-run lead and lose 10-3 the other day. We lost 11-2 last night. I stopped paying attention so far. But it's WrestleMania.
Did you see Danhausen?
What part?
Speaking of baseball.
Oh no, where did he show up?
No, yeah, a fan had tagged him and reached out and said, "Can you please uncurse my New York Mets?" And he said, "Yes, I'll do it." So they're going to set it up where he's going to try to uncurse him like he did with Grimace and hopefully save your Mets.
No. I don't know if look, I am a firm believer in Danhausen's curses, and to be honest with you, if there's one man on the planet that could probably figure out how to uncurse the Mets, it might be Danhausen. But no, this curse is far too large, my friend. He said, for my anime fans, this is a Jujutsu Kaisen size.
He said he'd do it if they can help him get his face on the side of the truck. The WWE truck that he's been talking about for months.
If there's one city that's going to be able to help you do that, it's New York, to be fair. So, well, we'll see what happens if the Mets win a World Series after Danhausen, quote unquote, uncurses them. One, I want every baseball fan, especially Mets fans, to get on your knees and thank the wrestling world, because obviously we're the reason that you guys have a championship in New York. But two, do we all just start believing Danhausen actually has some supernatural powers here?
It's a little evil,
a little nice. I mean, I'm a firm believer in a wrestling sense that this man does curse people, but if this stretches outside of the world of sports, I need him to go roundabout to a lot of other places too. Miami's one of them, 100%. Buffalo, I think, deserves a little bit here. I'm sorry, man. I think the Sabres just broke their playoff streak, and I'm proud of them for it, but that city has been clamoring for some sort of success for God knows how long. Shoot, does he have a team that he could send in to, do something with the city of Cleveland? I'd love to see another championship for the Cavaliers again. Would love to see
if it worked for the Mets, every team and fan base would be reaching out. He'd be the hottest take.
He already is. He's already the hottest thing in the WWE right now. Why not continue it into
takes it over to sports? He'll be hooked.
I'm just saying. And at this point, if you were watching the NBA basketball playoffs last night, there are a couple teams that might be cursed themselves, including the Los Angeles Clippers. Again, fantastic basketball game with the Golden State Warriors pulling out a unlikely win without Jimmy Butler, who tore his ACL months ago against the Heat. But the Warriors pulled off a 126-121 win last night over the Clippers after being down, I believe, at one point by somewhere around 6 to 8 points in the last quarter. 9, I think, actually was the largest. And the 3 men that were on minutes restrictions were the whole reason they won.
Al Horford,
Kristaps Porzingis, and of course, everybody's favorite sharpshooter, Steph Curry. Now, what I have to highlight here, though, the reason these 3 were on a minutes restriction is because they've been dealing with injuries so much this season. And obviously, Steve Kerr wants them more healthier for the long series, the 7-game series that they're most likely going to have to go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder if they could pull off a win here tomorrow night. We said it once, I'll say it again. Although the team is 37-45, if I'm counting correctly, you still can't count him out. If you got Steph Curry on the court, he's going to make something happen. This man is a wizard. He dropped 30 plus last night with 7 3-pointers, going up against a Clipper team that literally hit every single one of their free throws. All of them. So you can't blame the free throws. I don't know what it is about the Clippers, but they have to have a curse over their head at this point. Between the historic losses with Doc Rivers, the CP3 and Blake Griffin era, to this, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that. Are they as good as they should be? Probably not. The Clippers should probably be a lot better, especially on paper, than they are. But how do you fumble this? And again, we all talk about guys like Doc Rivers, who stepped away from the Milwaukee Bucks this season. We were talking about how Brian Windhorst went on ESPN a week ago and said that there'd be a ton of coaching moves as soon as Tuesday of this week, which he was right. There were a couple. Christie is staying with the Sacramento Kings, as we talked about with our guy Snacks on Monday. Doc Rivers is on his way out of Milwaukee. When do we start scratching our heads and wondering when Ty Lue is going to be on that list too? And I'm a Cleveland fan, and I'll say it. Ty Lue has been a part of and been a coach for some of the craziest fall aparts in playoff history. Sometimes. Now, he's also been a part of one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history, if you really want to be technical, with the Cleveland Cavaliers when they beat the Warriors to win the championship. But it's kind of the same thing with Doc Rivers. If we're going to sit there and blame Doc for all of this kind of turmoil, why do we not do it with Ty Lue? What has Ty done as a coach to make everybody believe that he should be untouchable in this area? Because if I'm the ownership of the Clippers right now, I'm considering a couple different changes, and coaching might be one of them. You had that game handedly at one point. Draymond Green was hobbled trying to play defense on your best player, and you couldn't get him to score. Kudos to Draymond, though, for pulling off the 2 biggest steals of the night at the end of this game to set up the 2 3-pointers to really give the Warriors that much of a lead. But realistically speaking, when you look at how this game ended, I'm blaming a lot of it, not only on Kawhi Leonard, who gave up those 2 steals, but I got to give it to Ty Lue. Where were you? How did you even give up this lead in the first place? And how are we allowing a guy like Steph Curry? And again, I know a lot of fault goes on the players for messing up the defense itself. He can't forcibly do or put them in places they're supposed to be.
But a game plan. You know you're playing Golden State.
Exactly.
You know they're going to put up a bunch of threes.
Get that ball out of Steph's hands. I don't care if Al's on fire. Make him shoot the final shot.
Exactly.
Get oh God, what's the guard's name with the crazy hair that they use to replace Klay Thompson now? But regardless, get him to take the final shot.
Anybody but Steph.
Steph Curry should not have had the ball in his hand in the final seconds of this game, period, let alone in the final minute.
Makes it look so smoothly, too.
It really does. That's why I'm saying I don't think there ever is, or I'm sorry, I don't think there ever will or ever has been a shooter like Steph Curry. And again, I'm not saying that there hasn't been other people that have had same statistical success. I understand there are guys like Ray Allen and Reggie Miller and Larry Bird. I know.
Reggie Miller comes to mind. Ray Allen comes to mind, but nothing as smooth and
effortless.
Yeah.
Effortless. I mean, I constantly remember those years where they were becoming the dynasty when they were playing teams like Memphis. And you see Memphis double and triple teaming this guy as he dribbles through the lane, back out to the 3-point line, and hawk up a shot that has no business going in. It looks like it was just a street ball game. They just threw it up in the air as high as he possibly could. And it's literally nothing but net every time. This man is absolutely a wizard. I say the same thing about some other players. Steph is a wizard with a 3-pointer. He absolutely is. There is and will never be another shooter like Steph Curry. But that being said, how the hell do you not write up a game plan where at least Kawhi or somebody that is your top defender, not just a guard, not your top defensive guard, your top defender should have been on Steph Curry? How that wasn't the case, I do not know. Jimmy Butler wasn't on the court. So you can't sit there and say that your defense was spread out. Are you worried about Draymond pulling off the final shot? He's got a bad knee. If you were paying attention during the end of the game, you noticed Draymond tweaked that knee while guarding Kawhi Leonard at the end of the game. I honestly thought he was going to be seeing the bench. I didn't expect him to come back in the game, but kudos to Draymond. I just can't believe Ty Lue still has a job, if I'm being completely honest. I really don't get it.
You might not by the time this end of the show. Now the Warriors take on the Suns tomorrow. We'll hear more about that from Bolt because I want to see what he thinks. I know our boy KG texted us last night and he's already taken them to the championship.
Well, did he say the Warriors or did he say the Hornets? Because I saw that.
He said both.
He said Warriors and Hornets?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, see, the one I saw was, he said Charlotte and Celtics in the Eastern Finals. Okay,
yeah, he said Charlotte and Celtics in the East and Spurs and Warriors in the West. I said, dude, not going to happen.
Honestly, it would be a great story. It would be a fantastic story. And probably the only time the NBA is actually open to a 10 seed at getting all the way to the championship, especially a team that was nowhere close to 40 wins. But I agree. I don't think that's going to happen. There's way too much talent on teams that are within the playoff already. Going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to make this almost impossible.
Got a couple of Warrior fans. Oh, dude, we're getting hot at the right time.
Absolutely are.
Slow down, bro.
Absolutely
playing the Clippers first.
And if you guys
get to the playoffs, then talk.
Yeah, if you guys had Jimmy Butler, I would say a little bit differently. I would feel a little differently. I still don't think you make it to the final though, because let's say some craziness happens and we have an upset the size of Golden State beating Dallas, and Golden State beats Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
Okay. Second round, who would you probably have to go up against? The Rockets, more than likely, because nobody's really focused on the Lakers right now. Is this team talented enough to beat a young, talented Rockets team led by Kevin Durant? Maybe. Let's say they do. They get to the Eastern or the Western Conference Finals, like our guy KG says. Now you got the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby and De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle. Yeah, those three alone are enough silence this team can do.
And personally, I don't see them by OKC if they get by the Suns.
Honest. What big man's going to guard Wemby? You think Kristaps Porzingis is going to pull this off? No. Probably do pretty well, but he's going to get a double team with Draymond a lot. And De'Aaron Fox, as talented as as Curry is with a three-pointer, Fox is fast, and he will run circles around him at this point in his career. So, no, I do not see the Warriors making it all the way to the championship, but it would be a great story. I just hope we get past this. The Suns are nothing really to discredit, I should say. They're going to be coming for blood. Green had a 30-point game in their loss today to the Portland Trail Blazers. And I think they're sitting there thinking we should already be in the playoffs. Why in the hell are we still here?
They're going to come out pissed.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens. And we'll see if any of the rest of the team could really live up to what they need to do defensively. What is living up to it in the NBA, though, and I saw this yesterday to bounce this off you, my friend, is the viewership numbers.
Yes.
Viewership numbers in the first year of this new television that incorporate platforms like ABC and ESPN, Amazon Prime, and, of course, Peacock, NBC, and NBA TV. They have seen upwards of 86% increases in viewership numbers throughout all platforms.
170 million people watched.
That is incredible, especially since we were in the season. People are starting to shy away from the NBA because they see the game of basketball boring. I don't understand that at all, if I'm being honest with you, but I grew up a massive fan of basketball, so it only makes sense that I would defend it. But this shows that people have interest in it, and maybe it was more the fact that they just didn't have the necessary platform to actually watch it. They didn't know where they could watch it because most people had been shying away from cable and on streaming services already. And now that they are across four different ESPN, Peacock, Amazon Prime, and I guess if you count NBA TV, if we count that one, there are more opportunities for everybody to win the product, and I think
It's
that's
so
helped.
confusing. It's so confusing because I don't know if it's the promotion or we don't know where the games are, but the last time I came home and it's like, all right, where are these games at? And luckily they've been on Prime. But going into the playoffs with more games, I know that what's been an issue, I know in the playoffs, is when there's multiple games playing, if they are on two separate streaming apps. And so I can't bring both games up at the same time. So I'm hoping, other than the weekend games, because usually the weekend games you can find pretty much on the local channels. But I'm happy because I'm a longtime basketball fan, and I'm glad that they're starting to get the viewer, and hopefully that can go over to the WNBA. We'll see. I don't know, but I know the WNBA is in major need of some the thread of more viewership.
Right. They will find some way to kind of mimic this to that part of the game as well. I just don't know how you're going to do it rapidly enough for them to be happy about it.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I
I
mean?
still disagree. I think they jumped the gun on the expansion teams.
You think so?
I think it's a little early. I mean, I know this is the 30th season.
Well,
But I mean, they're fighting over money. They're fighting over contracts and viewership. There's not enough money in the pot right now. I know there was a player yesterday that signed the biggest WNBA
Asia
deal
Wilson.
yesterday. Was it $5 million for 3 years or something like that, which is awesome. But we've had one or two good years with the WNBA. I think expanding there's a good thing that could expand the league, obviously, with the bigger city and more ticket sales, but it might be a bit too early.
No, I get what you mean, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to say what I've been saying for a while. But when you expand and you put it in more cities, there's more opportunities to make money. We already know how much you're gonna make with the teams that you already had. So why not throw a couple more teams out there in different cities and see how much money you can add on to the already, well, I don't want to say surplus, but you know what I mean. If you continue to expand, I understand that yes, there's still need for viewership in that area, but much like this TV deal with the NBA, maybe throwing it out there to multiple streaming services is a good thing. It's actually pulling in more people than you would think. Because as much as we complain, let's be honest, most people that are listening to me right now probably have access, if not own a subscription to all of these streaming services. We hate admitting it, but almost everybody has Amazon Prime. A lot of people have Netflix. A lot of people have Peacock now. The only one that you probably don't have is NBA TV because that's a very niche market. But for the vast majority of you, you already have the means to watch these games. HBO Max as well, I should highlight, at some points has NBA games as well. So maybe it's the same thing with the WNBA, although it's not a smart idea to really expand when you don't have the means for it in terms of money. But they've been proven that if you expand the product to different areas, it's been beneficial. I mean, we're seeing 86% increase in viewership overall, 35% increase on those apps specifically, which is the largest in 13 years. There's no reason to believe that the NBA isn't thinking if we continue to expand and just have it in front of everybody's eyes as much as humanly possible, we'll pull in the fans. They're just waiting for that one highlight to actually get them interested. That makes sense. So for the WNBA, I think it's more along the lines of get more superstars in your league, pay those superstars so they're happy, and let's get some crazy moments out there. Let's do something that's going to get people watching the product, especially on social media, because that's where basketball thrives, is social media. Short form clips of basketball kill. They're better than football. They're much better than baseball. So if you really go about it in WN success and financial success at some point, in my opinion, but that's just me. I'm just happy to see, like you said, I'm happy to see that the NBA is back in terms of viewership in general. I was really worried with the drop in it that fans in general were just fed up with the product, that everybody was over watching the game of basketball just because of the faces of it, because there is a lot of hate around LeBron James and who he is. There's a lot of hate around a lot of these players, especially when they get paid hundreds of millions of dollars and only play half the season. I mean, there's a lot of things for fans to be absolutely up in arms about. So that's what I was more worried about. But seeing these numbers,
Stephen A came out yesterday and was saying that he believes that it's one is Luka being in LA, a bigger market,
that's
and
fair.
two is these younger players like Wemby actually playing a full season, and the excitement, and of course the older players on their way out,
Yes.
whether it's the Steph Currys or the LeBron
LeBrons.
James.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. The changing of the guard is really going to be nice. And what's also a breath of fresh air is seeing young stars like Wemby take this so seriously and pretty much say, we need to make this like the European game in a sense of competitiveness. That's what he's been doing down there in San Antonio. He's making fan groups and stuff like that to really lead the charge in doing this differently in the NBA and getting more people involved during the game. So it's not so stagnant a lot of the time, especially when they're not playing and they're in the middle of timeouts. But I agree. I think that the changing of the guard and just these new young faces coming in are helping. And it's going to make it even more exciting when we finally, inevitably, and just forcibly, because at this point, I don't know exactly what we're going to have to do to pry it away from LeBron and give it to somebody else. But when we finally get that torch away from him and, hand it to a Wemby or an SGA or a Luka, or whoever decides to take this dang thing, maybe we're going to be in better hands. Maybe we're going to be able to sit there and say, okay, now we're headed to more of a competitive style of basketball rather than the, AAU style that we've all seen for the last 2 decades. We'll see. I'm just excited with the viewership numbers, to be honest with you. I hope you guys are as well. If you're a basketball fan, feel free to chime in 661-842-2000. Real quick, before we get to our first break of the day, I wanted to throw this at you, my friend, just because I thought this was an interesting baseball story that I didn't think was actually going to get this big until I saw this. Did you see this entire situation with Red Sox outfielder Jaren Duran the other day? Yes, exactly. If you're watching on YouTube, he flipped a fan the bird on his way into the dugout in the 6th inning, I believe, of a loss the other day to the Minnesota Twins. And I didn't think anything of it. I've seen players do worse. I mean, we've talked about Geno Smith flipping off fans who had a poster board that called him a bust. I defended Geno at that point. And honestly, I defend any athlete who does this because that's probably the most tame response to most of the stuff that you guys as fans yell at these people. Well, we found out exactly what happened, and Jaren came out and said, the person pretty much said, well, a lot of people have been yelling at him lately since he opened up about his battles with depression and suicidal tendencies, which is go kill yourself.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
When I read this story, and I got angry. I got visibly angry the more I read it because of this one quote from Duran, okay? When he says, honestly, it's my fault for talking about my mental health because I kind of brought in the haters. Although that is true, that shouldn't be a case, dude. Are we really are we that heartless of a society?
Yes.
That you people can't just appreciate, as somebody who's gone through depression and suicidal thoughts, I feel for Duran. I really do. And I thought it was really courageous of him to go on a national platform on Netflix during a docuseries and open up about it, that he had suicidal thoughts and all of this. And this is how you people accept it. That shows more about you.
You're surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. Because I'm not going to lie to you. The first thought I said in my head was, if I'm this athlete, or honestly, just from me speaking to you, I know you're probably not going to hear my voice, but then again, who knows? We got people listening in Utah and all around the country, so who knows? Maybe you do hear my words here. You go kill yourself. Sorry, you're so freely saying it to other people who have suicidal thoughts. Bye. We don't need people like you. We really don't. And fans who are sitting there saying, well, that's excessive. You're excessive.
Your mom's excessive.
These people are human too. So stop pretending like they're monkeys here for your entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, I could I've been to live games. I know how crazy fans get, and I've heard it in my own living room. So
This is in
I totally
Minnesota.
understand. But to actually yell it at him, I mean, that's just not it's so
It
disrespectful
is.
and just unethical. But I'm not surprised one
No.
bit
And
because I know once you open up that door, it's just like those, with comedians and roasting.
yeah.
It's all in fun, but they go after the meat and they know, okay, if this guy's got a flaw, I'm going straight after that. So for him to come out, respectfully and, to open up and explain and hopefully to help other players that have dealt with the same thing or even anybody
Right.
that's dealt with depression or suicidal thoughts. But on the other side, if you've been on the internet, you've seen how these keyboard warriors go after anything and they'll say anything. So I
So
wasn't surprised,
ridiculous.
but it is a sad, sad part.
It is. It's just so stupid that this is how people act. Like, I get it. You bought a ticket. I get it. You're there to watch your favorite team. But your team wasn't losing at this point, and it definitely he wasn't yelling stuff at you.
And that's all you got is a finger.
Well, again, I'm actually okay with that because if he
Yeah.
had said or done anything else,
Yeah.
it
I
would
don't
have
have
been worse.
anything to do with it.
But
Go ahead.
the Twins and the MLB are starting an investigation into this thing,
As they should.
as they should, absolutely. And I agree with Alex Cora. This fan will be found. This fan will not be allowed back into a Major League Baseball game across the country. They will not allow this man back in, and rightfully so. You're dumb. We don't need people like you. We really don't. Let's take a break. Our first guest is in the chat, so we will talk to him right after this break. Steven is, or I'm sorry, Steve has a show at the Well, Steve Byrne, and we are very excited to talk to him. So we will take a break and we'll get to that. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk.
Call, text, and
The Masters quote, I don't make it easy. And despite last year's win, his demons had returned. But instead of choking, he crushed Amen Corner and ripped another green jacket. The Jim Rome Show on Westwood.
Special.
Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. We're also streaming video live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Feel free to join us on all those social media platforms, including TikTok and Instagram as well. Like, share, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. But we got to get to our first guest of the day. He is an accomplished comedian, writer, and actor, creator of the television series Sullivan and Son. And you can see him tomorrow night at the Well, where he will make you laugh hysterically with his stories of his multicultural heritage growing up as a half Korean and half Irishman. Steve Byrne is with us. Sir, good to see you. Welcome. Good morning.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. We appreciate your time as well. What made you choose Bakersfield?
The owner, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Nice.
I really like the space. I like what he's doing with it. And I was just like, this is a cool spot. And, I mean, as a comic, I've been doing this over 20 years. You go to the clubs and, sometimes you're booked in a strip mall next to a Lane Bryant. And then other times you're booked in a unique market where somebody's trying to do something different and unique and support comedy. So, those are the clubs I really appreciate going to.
I mean, I saw you started out, grinding in New York at places like the Comedy Cellar. But I ask, what was the moment you realized this is kind of what I want to do?
I think it was, I moved to New York because I finished at Kent State University in Ohio, and my father and mother moved back to New York because my father's originally from there. And I got there and I was like, I'm not coming home till I get a job because I'm 21. And I walked up and down Broadway from like 80th and Broadway. I stopped at 50th and Broadway, and I walk into this place. I'm like, I'm looking for a job. They're like, what do you want to do? I said, I'll do anything. The manager said, great, fill this out and come back tomorrow. And it was Caroline's Comedy Club. And so that was the first time where I was like watching comedy, like Chappelle, Jon Stewart, all the Jimmy Fallon, all these comics before they are who they are today. Mm-hmm. And just as a 21-year-old, I was like, wow, I want to do that. And that's kind of when it hit me. I'd never been to a comedy club before that, but that was an eye-opening experience, and I just saw how cool it was. And now years later, it's like it's a great job. I mean, you travel all over the world, and you get to work for an hour a night. It's like, that's not too bad,
right? You get paid pretty dang good money to do that too.
She's like my vampire hours, getting up at 7:30. It's like, whoa, what? Why am I up this early? This is
why we always appreciate you guys getting up this early. Of course, we do. We've talked to a lot of comedians about their first time getting on stage. Since you have never been to a comedy club until you started working there, what was your first time on stage like?
It was 4 months later. So it was September 30th, 1997. I know the date still, but it was at Stand Up New York on the Upper West Side. And I always tell people the first time I was on stage, it was like the first time I had sex. It was quick. I couldn't wait to do it again, and I was crying. So it was, I was so emotionally overwhelmed by it, to be honest with you, because I had practiced so much. I was driving myself crazy. I think I was like, like psycho about it, because it just kept running my jokes and running my jokes and running my jokes. And I think it was like an emotional outlet as soon as I was done. But then the second time, I couldn't wait to do it again. And I did it like a week later, and this guy came up to me afterwards. He goes, here's my card. I'm a manager. Call me tomorrow. And I called him, and then he signed me, and he said, how long have you been doing this? I said, once. So he's like, what? I was like, yeah, it was the first time I was ever on stage. He's like, oh my God. And so I started working pretty quickly after that. I was doing like one-nighters along the East Coast for like $50 a pop. And nothing's changed in the industry, because people still pay like the comics $50 a pop. You'd think there'd be some,
some
increase
sort of inflation with that. Not at all.
Yeah. There's nothing. Wow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've had a tremendously successful career in this entire space of comedy, including getting your own Cheers-like sitcom. And I apologize.
It's okay. It's early for everybody.
Yes, it is.
And what was it like when you got that transition? You started writing and starring in your own show.
I mean, that was great. It was like it's like what every comic dreams of when you move to Hollywood. You move to LA, you got your suitcases, you can drive past the studios and think one day that'd be so cool to get to do something in there. And then, for 3 seasons, for 3 summers, I was on the Warner Brothers lot for 33 episodes with these amazing veteran actors and then young comedians that were also on the show, Owen Benjamin and Ahmed and Roy Wood Jr., and then just a gauntlet of friends from the Comedy Store and the Improv that I'd have on the show each week. And it was awesome. It was so fun. And I remember like every show, I remember I read this book and Noah Wiley was talking about his time on ER. And he's like, yeah, I remember going back to the ER set and there was nothing there. And he's like, it just felt like it had never even happened. And that was before I was doing the first episode. And I thought, well, you know, I might as well enjoy every episode because you never know when it's going to end. And when it does end, maybe it'll feel like that. So we partied after every single episode. So the bar turned into a real bar. The kegs really worked. The jukebox really worked. So we would just booze and drink and hang out and have a great time. And so we'd tape on Wednesdays and Thursdays we'd come in. I'd come in because I was always beat up from the night before. And they would always give us these security would write these notes like, hey, we saw a bunch of alcohol. We saw the camera footage. You guys are driving the golf carts around, knocking over cones at 3 a.m. You can't do that. We smelled marijuana. Just all this stuff. And I would just crumble it up and like chuck it. I'd be like, let's just keep going. Let's see what happens. Yeah. And it was always a blast.
Did you ever have anybody from any other lot come over and party with you guys?
Not party with us, but complain. Conan's people complain, and Ellen DeGeneres, her people always complain. But this is one of my favorite stories because we would, it's exciting to be in those studios, in those huge, like enormous warehouses. It's so exciting to be in those things, but they're so, when the lights are all down, it's just kind of like a stage. It's not as glamorous, when everything's lit up, it looks beautiful. But we'd just be in these sound stages all day, and it's like, let's go outside. So whenever we had a break, we go out and we throw football. And Conan's people again would always complain, and Ellen's people would complain. And it does make sense after this story because one day, Owen Benjamin's like 6'7", and the guy could literally throw a football probably 60, 70 yards. It was unbelievable. I mean, this guy would just bean back and chuck it. And there was one day he threw a ball so deep, Roy Wood Jr. was going to get it. And just then, Clint Eastwood's on a golf cart going by, and he turned around and talked to somebody, and the football like literally just missed. Owen Benjamin literally almost killed Clint Eastwood because the guy's like 80 at the time with a football. And I was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this all the time. Maybe this is kind of dangerous. So,
that's when TBS knocked on the door and said, hey, let's take the football away.
Well, actually, like a week later, Owen Benjamin shattered the front plexiglass window of one of Ellen DeGeneres's assistants' golf carts. So that was the end of football. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
That's crazy because we talked to Greg Fitzsimmons yesterday, and he brought up some Ellen stories as well. So, I mean, going back to Dan Betts, he's a big friend of ours. I got to actually go down to the Comedy Store, cross that off my bucket list. I've always wanted to go down there, and Betts set that up for us. But there's a busy weekend over at the Well Comedy Club, starting with you tomorrow night. Our boy Anthony, that's going to be in here right after you. He does a weekly open mic show on Thursday nights, on top of Greg on Saturdays. So get your tickets, thewellcomedyclub.com. We've got a couple pairs of tickets if you guys want to call in or text in 661-842-2000. We'll get you all set up. But before we go, I had to ask you, as someone who's, done late nights so many times, is there still a kind of a bucket list moment that you haven't been able to do yet?
I got to be honest with you, not really. I mean, I've accomplished a lot of the goals I set out, and some goals, you just don't know what to expect. But you guys talk sports and news, and so you might be interested in this. I haven't told anybody this. I haven't made a formal announcement. Nothing's been said yet, but I had done a film called The Opening Act about my early years, and I wrote and I directed it. And so somebody said afterwards, what's the next film you'd want to do? What's like your dream project? And I said, the Caltech basketball team story. So I started doing research. We galvanized. I met the coach. So I interviewed him. And so I wrote a script about Caltech's basketball team. So I'm going to direct it very shortly here. That's why I'm in California right now, because I was kind of scouting. But you know, it's an infamous story where Caltech, renowned for rocket science, they have a basketball team, and they possess the single season record for the longest losing streak in college basketball history. It's close to 30 years, 310 games. So a new coach comes in, and the premise is a new coach comes in. It's his first job, as it was in real life, and he's there. I'm going to turn this team around. He gets there, and they're dressing kids that not only have never played basketball, they've never played sports. So he's got all these Indian and Asian nerds. He's like, wow, we're not going to the championship. We're definitely not going to the playoffs. So I got to get these nerds to just win one game, just win once. And that's the whole movie. So it's kind of like the anti-sports film. So it's going to be really exciting. So I think when you ask about bucket list situations, I think everybody, when you hear a story, everybody has a script. Everybody has that idea for a movie. And when I heard about that years and years ago, it's just been in my head ever since. And I was like, boy, if I ever get the chance to do that, I think that's been, you know, even when I signed on, it's been 5 years in the making to get this thing done. But we're finally at that precipice now where there'll be an announcement soon and all that stuff. So, you know, this is where it always happens. Entertainers bring breaking news to the early bird special. We know it. That's why I'm up.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Confetti, but yeah.
Basketball version of the comebacks. That's all I'm hearing. That's a fantastic movie thought.
Yeah.
Are you a sports fan at all? Do you have somebody you usually follow?
I'm an enormous NHL fan, so I love hockey. So we got the playoffs around the bend. My Pittsburgh Penguins were, you know, relegated to being a draft pick team, and they're second highest scoring team in the NHL after the Avs. So it's really exciting to see what they're going to do.
How'd you feel about Crosby and him having to go down? You guys had to play so much without him, obviously. Maybe that led to this rough season.
I think a lot of those character players stepped up, but this is something like, if you go back, I've been a Pens fan forever. Lemieux would have spats, you know, his back would give out. He obviously had cancer in '93. And then you have guys like Robert Lang step up, or Recchi and Kevin Stevens step up and carry the team. And it definitely builds character. It's always that recalibration moment when the star's gone, then the team picks up momentum, and then the star comes back, and then everything dips again. The chemistry kind of dips, but then it sorts itself out. But this team, for some reason or another, I think they have 10, 20 goal scorers, just a lot of kind of island misfit toys that Kyle Dubas put together. So I think it's going to be exciting. I think Crosby and Malkin, after having not made the playoffs since 22, they know this is probably their last hurrah, and they've had incredible seasons. So I think this is going to be a really kind of special playoff series for any Penguins fan. But the NHL in general, with the Florida not making it after being in the finals the last 3 years, I think it's going to be very exciting. It's definitely anybody's race, but everybody's looking at the Avs. But President's Trophy winners never really go far in the NHL playoffs.
If there's any team in the NHL that you can never count out, man, it's the Penguins. I don't know what it is, but Pittsburgh always finds a way to win a championship in these off years, and it looks effortless, especially with guys like Crosby on the team. So I agree.
Yeah.
If you do get a chance, we have an AHL team here in Bakersfield that you have to check out, the Bakersfield Condors. They are fantastic. If you're a hockey fan, you'll really enjoy it.
Oh, that's sick. Well, look, if you ever want to see a real hockey game, you go to AHL, because these guys are fighting for contracts, and they're literally fighting.
Yes.
I mean, almost every other shift. It's damn exciting.
Absolutely. And I love going to Bakersfield Condor games, not only because obviously I grew up here, but they just bring this different kind of energy. And I'm telling you, if you are a hockey fan, I highly recommend you go down there and check out a game before you get out.
So I like what you're doing here. Guys, don't see me Friday. Check out the Condors home schedule.
No.
No, give them the promo code. Come on.
Yeah. They're right next to each other. You can do both. You can do both. That's the beauty. Steve, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you. One more time, go out and see him at the Well tomorrow. At what time's the show start? Actually, I don't think
I believe it's
7 o'clock.
Yeah, doors open at 6, shows at 7, and get there early because you got to get a drink, you got to get some food. Betts has expanded that menu. Get some wings, get some drinks, and we'll be there. I'll be there. I don't know about Burdick. I know he's getting ready for WrestleMania this weekend.
Well, I probably will
but I'll be out there, and we really appreciate you coming out this morning.
No, thank you guys so much for having me, and good luck to the Condors. And we'll see you at the well this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Later,
We got
guys.
This is the early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM 1230. No. Again!
94.1 HD2.
Yes.
But,
No longer 12:30 a.m. That is now owned by the sister station, Kern Radio.
So is that number 3 of Kill Tony guests this week?
This week, yeah, technically.
Dude, how cool would it be
We
to
got
go to
Tony
a-
himself.
to do that, or even go to a Kill Tony show?
Oh, I'm 100. If we could find one close, I'm there. I've wanted to go to a Kill Tony show live for a long time.
Or my goat is Louis C.K. and the Netflix is a joke festival that's going on.
Is he
I
in it?
believe he is. and I
Nice.
believe it's at the Hollywood Bowl.
And those, yeah, that's where Matt Rife was last year that I got to go to, and that was so much fun. Highly recommend going and seeing him live as well.
I've never been to the Hollywood Bowl. Say I
Really?
got the regular seats, not the up close ones.
They're
Will I
worth
be
it.
able to see,
They're worth it. Yeah. Well, okay.
or am I going to be staring at a screen on
You're
the
going to be
side?
staring at a screen.
See, I could do that at home.
Yeah. For the most part, I won't lie. You can be, depending on how high up you go. Because if you go all the way up nosebleeds, yes, they're price effective, but you're going to be staring at a screen the whole time.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
So I've gone to the Hollywood Bowl 3 times now. Each time I've been kind of mid-tier up, like you said, not right up on them, but probably that second tier. They're solid. They're not bad.
I had tickets to see.
I've seen 2 concerts there and a comedy show.
I had tickets to see Chappelle a couple years ago, and I didn't get to go. And it was end up being the show where the fan came out and tried to rush him.
Oh, is it really? Oh, you should have
like,
totally been there.
Oh man,
that'd have been great. Honestly, I did. Also, if you do decide to go, and anybody who's listening to us right now and you have thought about going to the Hollywood Bowl, you haven't, bring a cushion.
Really?
Bring a cushion.
Is it the old school kind of seats, or is it grass?
No, it's concrete. Bring a cushion.
Oh,
bring a cushion.
Like the old Coliseum?
Yes. Bring a cushion. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't worry about where you're going to put it. Just bring a cushion. They're pretty much concrete. It is not comfortable at all to sit in for long periods of time.
Well, we only got about 90 seconds. I was going to bounce this off you because I'm sure we won't get time to do it, but there was some news out of that Saudi Arabia is talking about pulling their money, not only with LIV, but with other sporting events. And this morning, Schefter announced that they are now wanting to pull their money out to flag football, which we have already talked about how they might have to relocate some of these events and practices and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But now LIV is talking about Saudi Arabia is talking about pulling their money out of all sports.
Maybe they don't see the ROI that they saw initially. I don't know. Again, the reason America makes so much money on sports is because we've had such a long history of putting money into it. So I always kind of thought that was interesting why the Saudi Arabian, I don't want to say the whole country, because it's really just the elites over there putting a lot of money into all this stuff because they're thinking they're going to get a whole ton of it back. And they're right for the most part, but you have to put it in there long term. Otherwise it's not going to work. So we'll see. I think it's just more of a, idea. I don't think they're actually going to do it. Anthony Jauregui on the other side. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM. I just had an interesting conversation with our DJ over on our sister station of Caliente. Cascabel, 96.9.
I have no idea.
I don't even remember.
96.9.
He watches AAA and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Nice.
I was unaware of that.
I'm going to bring him in.
All right. I mean, at this point, he could talk it with me.
Oh, and before we get into Anthony Jauregui and open mic tonight, and we got to hear about the roast last weekend and all of that.
I need to know who won. No one has told us.
Did you watch the new Invincible?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude. That was probably the best episode of Invincible I've ever seen, and followed up with the boys.
Can we say, though, that I don't think a single show on Amazon has had the most perfect casting,
right,
like Invincible has, with all these voice actors? And I know they're all actual, like, big name actors too, but everybody that they have gotten for that show is on point. Like, all of their voices are perfect. But yeah, we can get into that at some point.
And there's only one episode left in the season already.
I know.
Like, damn,
I know,
dude.
But I mean, after last episode, how are they going to one up blowing up Viltrum? Like, sorry if I just ruined it for you, but that's kind of what happens.
I didn't realize I was among the 1% of people that could still afford Amazon Prime in the building. So,
nerd alert. My wife has got a
who
Prime
says
issue.
I'm paying for it?
Right?
I'll watch the reviews from afar.
You know what's funny? I was just listening to Bleck and Abdallah talk about that yesterday, with how much you have to pay for all of these streaming services. And then they brought up that Todd McShay, to see his whole draft rundown.
He has to pay for it.
It's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And I said, these guys are making you pay for this now?
We're making us pay for guesses. They don't know.
That's
right. Their best guess.
It's not like well, I guess maybe can you bet on this? Maybe we should ask Bolt.
If I was
Can we
gonna
bet on the NFL draft,
if I was gonna pay for any of the apps, I would be paying for Prime right now, because between Invincible and the boys, if you're not watching it
and stuff like that, they're getting to, like, it's actually worth it.
Those are the best two shows out right now, for sure.
All the free shipping and stuff that comes with
you get a plan B the next morning after.
You have money to order.
24-hour shipping, man.
Anthony Jauregui.
Good to see you, my friend.
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Birdman hand.
Yeah, that's it.
Birdman.
This is actually Anthony Rivers' autistic twitch. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he does this.
It looked like Flill's Danhausen.
Let's start with that, though. How did the roast battles go?
Oh, dude, I literally was coming in here today. I was like, hey, no one's brought up the roast battles all week, probably because Trevor got his ass kicked on Sunday.
Did he really? Well, Trevor didn't. Trevor wasn't the one this week, so we couldn't ask him.
I know, but I feel like at some point, like, that's been in the.
So Idell was telling the truth.
Oh, nice.
He claimed too. He was on this show saying, "Oh, I'm ready. I got every joke in the book ready for this."
Oh, and I had a little inside baseball. Andrew and I wrote a couple times too. Reading our jokes back to each other, like tagging things up and stuff. And I was hearing his jokes, and I was like, I put an analytical mind on it. I was like watching tape when he read it to me, and I was like, okay, if you say this, I think Trevor will cry this amount of tears, and if you do this thing, Trevor might bend over this way and let you. Anyway, dude. Andrew came out swinging, and I was surprised because usually these young comics, they go up there and like, you look like you ate groceries out of bed early, and it's like, what does that mean? It's like these weird non sequiturs.
You guys recorded this.
Oh yeah, it's apparently the producer of the show bought all the recordings and is going to make clips, and it's going to be.
This needs to happen. The fact you guys haven't put this out on socials yet, I'm kind of disappointed.
I think they're still like etching it and creating it, because when this gets released, it's going to put some people in jail.
I talked to Rivers last night. He was saying the May one is already scheduled. He's going to come in and pump it up.
Dude, that day Betts was like, let's schedule another one. He announced the date the day of.
I guess it was a big turnout too, right?
It wasn't sold out, but it was a great turnout, especially for that room. The energy was electric. I don't know what it is, man. I've done 5 roast battles at the old club. This roast battle immediately better than all of the others.
Right.
I don't know if because the host was sober or not, but like it was.
As myself and Sparky said a couple days ago, if y'all need judges, born to judge.
Dude.
Bring it.
Both
Dude,
of
I
us
think
would
you
love to
guys
be
would be
panelists.
you guys would be great because he's been the producer Anthony Rivers has been thinking about like local type celebrities or local influencers or people that
Oh, then we're out.
Yeah, we're not that famous.
We're out.
We're not that way yet.
So since you guys aren't that, there's an alternative. We'll get the guy in the sweater over there. He can come
Exactly.
in.
Only if
He
he
could be
wears
our
a sweater.
No, but I think you guys would be great because it's just another influx of people that aren't comics but enjoy like crowd
Yeah.
talking and like have experience being in front of a crowd, can MC something. The person we had judging this last week, she was nice. She was a sweet lady, but she was like a realtor, made funny reels and stuff. Didn't really like add anything to the show aside from picking a winner or a loser.
Did
But
he get a discount on this month's rent or something?
I don't know.
What
I
happened?
think she gave a free shack to Anthony Rivers, top of Union or something. But yeah,
How was yours?
Yeah.
dude, it sucks
Lost?
on that. No,
Oh.
I annihilated this dude.
Oh, okay.
But I annihilated this dude. But it was one of these games where like you show up. It's like in football. You show up to a game and you're like, I think these guys are tanking. Like I think they're like purposely doing bad for some other like some weird reason. First thing I and this guy's a good friend of mine. I'm not going to even say his name because I don't want to talk crap like that. But his name's Eric Lopez. The first thing I say, he's from Visalia. The first thing I say to him, I'm like, we see each other. He's like, dude, I only wrote 5 jokes. I don't care about this. I don't really give a crap about like roast battles. And I'm
What?
like, are you
Then
kidding?
why'd you jump in the first place?
No, and I was like, dude, I kind of got thrown into this either. I didn't agree to it, but I also don't want to bomb. Like, I
Right.
want to do great and I want to like do and win and write good jokes. Like, if I lose, fine, I'll say that. It's like, whatever, it's a roast battle, but I still want to win. But it sucked because he was just like immediately off the bat because like when people just start making excuses for a loss that they haven't had yet, and you're like,
Mhm.
now I know where your mindset's at. So I whooped his butt, like really like 3-0. All judges agreed with me. The audience, like he didn't do bad either. I just did better than him, you know. But Trevor bombed, dude. It was like
Really?
yeah. Trevor had some. I think Trevor's still up there reading a joke. It's so long.
Well, I can tell now because I saw his picture of the Monday night open mic, and he looked like somebody kicked his dog.
Oh,
dude,
Like,
it was
oh,
worse than
man.
that.
We'll have Trevor on Monday, I
he
believe.
he needs to save face or something. But
Was they all just long-winded?
Trevor's jokes were just too long, you know, and roasts.
No, good roasts are like what, 2-3 sentences, maybe
less than that. I feel like it just depends on your delivery too. It's just like you only have a minute, so you have to make sure these jokes are in and out. They're quick, you know. Like if they're long, like make sure. I had a joke that actually had a really long setup, but the payoff was hilarious. You know, I like and Trevor had really long setups and there was no payoff. Like, but Trevor has had, you know, this could have just been his one little bad fight, you know, his one night, because I've seen Trevor cross some fools up and take names, you know.
Maybe it just wasn't a good matchup for him. Maybe he'd be doing better against somebody else.
Yeah, maybe he should
Let's put Tyson and Trevor against each other. See how that works out.
I think they'll get some real blood on that on that fight.
That might be a little too close.
But
that's possible.
Dude, Idell, he did great. So I immediately after the battle was like, I want Idell next time.
Nice.
So I challenged Idell.
I believe it's May 24th.
May 24th, Sunday. So me and Idell, hasn't been announced yet, but hopefully me and Idell will be roasting each other. So that'll be fun.
I was about to ask, is this going to be tournament style like you guys talked about last time, or are we
I
just
don't-
doing it like
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's going to be similar, pretty much the same. Where it's just like these people are set to battle, you know. But who knows? Down the line, maybe it might be a tournament type thing.
Or
but,
one of those things where you pull a name out of the hat. So
yeah,
you don't get to prep.
Pull a name out of the hat, go write 3 jokes, the best 3 jokes
Mhm.
right now. Like honestly, I could do that. Like 30 minutes, give me 30 minutes, I got that. Like, but I think that'd be a fun challenge, honestly.
And dude, this is a great time right now in the comedy scene here in town. Not only is it open mic tonight with you, but I mean, you guys got Steve Byrne tomorrow. You've got Greg on Saturday, and what was the other one on Sunday?
Self-Help Sing is his like internet personality name, but his name is Masood Boomgard. He's from South Africa. Huge following. Yeah.
Perfect time. I mean, get out, go support the local comedy scene. Go to thewellcomedyclub.com. We've got a few tickets left, very little amount. So if you want to get out Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, just text into the show 661-842-2000. We'll hook you up.
I mean, you guys also have what? Michael Blackson's coming in about a month.
Michael Blackson's coming literally in
DJ
about a month.
yeah.
next week, I believe.
DJ Sandhu, from up north. Dude, a lot of great comics. And again, if you go to a show, it's comparable to going in a movie theater, buying tickets, food and drink. You'll spend 45. If you get the promotional cup, you can easily spend $45
Yeah,
getting
easy.
food and drink.
Easy.
And that's like an easy, like 15 or 7. Yeah, I'll do the $15
And you
cup.
always
like,
have to
mhm.
get the promotional cup. Come on
exactly. You
now.
get free
I was
refills.
so pissed because we went last week and we went and saw Hail Mary and Mario.
Oh,
yeah, Mario.
And I
all
was
out,
like, dude, I
right?
got to get that Mario, popcorn tub.
It's
yeah.
not there.
And it was sold out by the time I went back.
Dude, I was at the barber shop 3 weeks ago and they were talking about these cups. Like, I remember when you go to the barber shop, they're talking about drugs and who cheated on who. They were like planning out how to get the new Mario cup.
That's what I wanted.
It was just a little
I saw it
Yoshi
when I
with the
came in.
egg.
I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it, but I don't want to hold it for 5 hours
True.
doing 2 movies. So I came back
Yeah, yeah.
between movies. And they're like, it's sold out. I'm like, what?
I will take those novelty cups home and use those as water cups for.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Those
Oh,
things last.
I'm a collector.
Yeah.
I save them. I,
I
still
know,
have
I do
old
too.
ones.
My mom uses them to put water in her plants.
Look, they're just a line.
to get
right
onto
on
my
top
wife.
of my cabinet, dude.
I get on my wife like, don't use those cups.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's a collector.
Just collectible.
Yeah, I still have the old Barcelona Dream Team cups.
yeah.
All these old school
That's
cups.
what I'm saying. Like, but you're right. You can drop about $50 now just
Dude,
going to the concession stand.
It's $18. I got a Five Nights at Freddy's cup. I didn't even watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It was $18.
And why do the popcorn buckets sell out so quickly?
I think
though?
because they
Like,
also work as sex toys.
Uh,
You can do a lot of things with that little Dune cup. Let me tell you what.
I
Oh
have
my
seen some
gosh.
pictures of what
Set 'em
people
up
are
for that
doing
one.
with that Yoshi egg one.
The Yoshi egg.
You ever
Holy,
seen that? The popcorn bucket?
these gay guys are crazy.
The
dude.
popcorn bucket.
Please wash your hands.
Oh my god.
I don't even know
open,
how to follow up with that.
open mic tonight at the Well. How
Yes,
are things
sir.
going?
Wow, that.
Not what you were expecting.
Sorry.
Don't show the label.
Sorry.
We don't know what the
I just
company
took a
is.
sip of the. Jesus.
The look on your face, though.
It's
is
a
like,
me,
that
it's a
was
man.
not good at all.
That's what he said after it. Yeah. Open mic has been good. Thank you for asking, Burdick. It's been good.
Draft is a week away from today.
Okay, yeah.
Do
Let's
the Packers have a cut or
No,
a
we
pick in the first round?
We don't have a first round. We use that to buy Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Oh, that's
our
right.
The Cowboys
Purchases
on that
rights.
one.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Cowboys have it. I hear they're going to move up. Hopefully, we're in their mix for Dexter Lawrence. I don't know, but a lot of people have been talking about Dexter Lawrence. Honestly,
What would you give up for him?
Oh, not
Because I
alone.
mean, that's going to be a
Parsons?
hefty price.
Honestly, I'd give him like 2 defensive tackles and a receiver or something.
Mhm. A
I'm
future
like,
draft pick.
yeah, future draft. We have a second. Go ahead, take that. You know,
We don't need him.
dude. I feel like anytime we take a player from the Giants, we make them good. So
Right.
This is
yeah.
true.
So Xavier McKinney.
I was listening to what the hell is the show after us? Is it Black and
Black and
Abdallah?
Abdallah.
So yesterday, I mean, all the talks every year before the draft, it's always is the guy the first team with the first pick gonna actually trade it?
All right.
But it kind of makes more sense now that I'm looking into it because obviously the Raiders, they're all, it's going to be Fernando, whatever his
Mhm.
name is. It's going to be him. It's going to be him. And even the Carr brothers are even talking about it. They're like, next year's quarterback heavy in the draft. How close are the Raiders? They're pretty far away. They're rebuilding. They've addressed the offensive line. They're getting some defensive players. And he said, but it's not as crazy as people think. He said, what if we did trade that first pick, say to the Jets? We get pick number 2, we get a later pick and a first round for next year.
Right.
And you can still get a quarterback next year. You have Kirko or whatever the hell you've been calling him, Kirk Cousins. Say you do that. You roll with Kirk Cousins for 1 year. You continue to build that offense and defense. I think it might be a solid pick.
Look, I was saying that months ago, but with all the developments that have happened within the Raiders, everything we've heard about them already giving Fernando the playbook.
The playbook, yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
like
That is crazy.
they are 110% going to take Fernando.
I believe it, but I was just thinking, I was like, it wouldn't
It
be
wouldn't
as
be the worst
crazy as
idea.
people think.
Honestly, I thought that was the smart idea a couple months ago because you needed the draft capital, and who has more of it than the Jets right now, especially in next year's draft?
Miami and
So-
Pittsburgh.
So
Yeah,
if
that's true, too.
so the Jets, are they number 2?
Yes,
So they could go and take that and could so do
they
you
would
thi- do you
essentially
think they
just
would
jump
ta-
up a pick.
Do you think they would take Fernando Mendoza?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If they move up, that's the only player I could see them going after.
Really?
Because why else would you? What other player would they be moving up for? Baines, you can wait because the Raiders aren't taking defensive end.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard of any other. Ty Simpson is the other. Baines,
Ty
there's
Simpson is
like,
the only other quarterback that people are really talking about. I mean, you got Carson Beck, the guy who was at Georgia for a long time.
Yeah, he was like 15 years. Playing
Exactly,
college
but I
football.
don't think he's really going to get that kind of a nod. If he does,
Which
it'll
sucks
be with the
because I
Seahawks.
guarantee he'll be the one that like gets picked
Blows
up
up.
in the 5th
Right.
round and is like, dude, he's great. What?
Right.
He's been playing it for 18 years. And
The Raiders could have had
Right,
him.
he ends up he ends up on like the Colts or something like that.
Fernando Mendoza is like praying on the sideline or something, like distracted. Like,
I
come
saw
on,
a story with Jamarcus Russell. He said, if one more person calls me a bust,
I'll bust your mouth.
yes.
Yeah,
I was like,
come
you're
on.
still dealing with that?
I'm sorry if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, Jamarcus.
Ouch.
Whack.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
I wouldn't even know who he was if I saw him in public.
Right.
Honestly.
I was like, who?
I don't think a lot of people.
And
would anymore.
speaking of that, I pulled this story. I didn't think we were going to get to it, but I'm going to use it while I can.
Throw it out there.
So there's an Alabama football player. I'm sure you've heard about it, but a former Alabama football player is now in deep crap because he's been impersonating Michael Penix Jr. And
No, I have not
Yes,
heard about
and
this. Wait, what?
he's had a massive fraud scheme. He said authorities say Luther Davis allegedly used disguises to act like Michael Penix Jr. up to $20 million in fraud and
He's running
scams.
around Atlanta because he looks like.
I heard
Penix.
Michael Penix Jr. is impersonating Michael Vick.
Right. And Tua is just who?
I had not heard that story.
I was
That
just
is
like,
wild.
I feel like this has been. I heard also. I mentioned it earlier. Xavier McKinney. I don't know if this is the same type of thing, but he also got some fraud thing where
Yeah, we
someone was
talked about him.
pretending to be him. Also, Cardi B. You know,
Really?
So, like, yeah, like so.
no, fraud is like.
I know she's not an athlete, but
Identity fraud is at an all-time high, but I mean, when it's a famous person, you would just assume that these people would know that's not that person, unless
Right.
you are a dead
just
ringer for them.
just throw a do-rag on. You're like, hey, I'm
Right.
Michael Penix Jr.
I'm just like, what does this guy look like? Because he has to be a dead ringer,
Xavier is the one that actually is fighting
right?
to
Yeah,
get his
he's
money
like,
back, right?
If I was impersonating Michael Penix Jr., I'd probably just not wear the do-rag and say, this is what I look like without the do-rag. Because have you guys heard that he's never, you know,
Yeah, he always wears.
you've been in locker room. Has he ever taken it off?
Well, I haven't been in their locker room, but
Well, I mean, you know,
I have heard that he wears it everywhere.
yeah.
that is crazy, dude.
Like,
That
from
is-
everything I've seen, yes. Like every time I've seen him on a football field with pads on, it's on.
You think if he gets like to the NFL honors, he'll still be wearing one, or he'll grow out of it in like
No,
10
he'll
years?
put on a shiesty at that point.
They're dressing like Cam Newton.
The others, I had one here too that I wanted to float at you just because we've talked about this with Flail, and honestly, we'd love to get your thoughts on this just because it's a funny basketball story. But did you see that Bronny's trademark logo got blocked?
Denied.
So we talked about this a couple months ago when he first put the logo on the back of his shoes, but Bronny has his own B9 logo that he's been trying to get trademarked. And actually, if you look at the logo, it's not a bad logo. It's actually a pretty good logo. But apparently they blocked it because it's too close to this Back Nine Golf apparel logo that they have already that's already been put down.
Who the hell wants Bronny shoes?
But that's the other thing I was about to bring up is should we not wait, Bronny, to get
Hey,
good at your
I
sport
got
before
Bronny,
you put
you
him?
know?
No one wanted Steph Curry's like what was that brand?
Uh-huh.
They didn't even want.
I
He had his own. I
Yeah,
remember
he had
that.
it, what's that?
It was like and one or something. It was
cross. I don't know.
It was a weird.
Under Armour.
Yeah,
Like,
something
Under,
like that.
Under Armour he was with for a long time. I know he's currently a free agent in shoes, but
I think it was the Under Armour one. I'm like, dude, those are ugly,
Uh-huh.
bro. I'm
But it's,
like,
I don't know. For me, it's more like, dude, why are you even trying to make your own brand? Like that's
honestly,
How
you're
about
right.
you make the team first?
This
Yes.
is exactly like open micers that have been doing comedy for 2 years and they get merch and they start selling it as
yes,
a
it's
headliner.
like, brother, get a following first.
You're like, dude, play more than 2 seasons first.
Well, we talked to Steve Burns right before you came
Yeah.
in, and he was talking about he worked at a comedy club for
Yeah.
months. And before he ever even hit the stage, and he did one show, and
Yeah.
he
It
had an
wasn't
agent
even
calling
at
him.
his comedy club. I
Right.
meant to ask that. It was like you didn't even
Caroline's,
go up at your own club. That's pretty.
I mean, we
interesting.
talked to other comedians. We usually ask, how did you get started? Did you know you wanted to do this and all that? And we've heard some crazy stories. There's another one that their first show, they waited and waited, and it was like 2:33 in the morning, and then they bumped him. Well, the next day, somehow, some way, he got on to Kill Tony for his first comedy show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that has got to be rough,
Yeah, but
man.
see, here's the deal. None of them decided to turn around and make a logo about themselves and try to sell merch.
Hey, they might have sold the sticker or something.
Right.
But,
Just saying.
But I think that's really taking some confidence in yourself, being like, I think it's time to get
I
a
think
shoe.
it's a level of Delulu. Just
Yeah.
because you're LeBron's son doesn't mean people are going to want to buy your shoe.
No, and it's like, get grounded in yourself, dude, and realize like you do need a following first. And he's probably just looking at his dad, be like, well,
Buy 'em all, please.
Yeah, my dad already had like 3 clothing lines at this point. I'm
it's like, Dad came in with a shoe deal. Why didn't I?
yeah,
I'm just have his dad buy them all. He's like, look, they sold out in seconds.
for real. Yeah.
How do you need some merch?
Honest, hey, I have a sticker coming out soon.
That cartoon image that you put out, I would support that.
Oh, that's my buddy Carson Crawford, Rebel Lion Artwork, did that a couple years ago. I did use that as a little like logo at some point. I used it for people to tip me at trivia. That's probably why people didn't tip me. But that's why you can't have a QR code with people tipping you too early in your comedy career, just like you can't have shoes too early in your basketball career.
You've learned that?
I'm going to call shenanigans on that one. Just a little bit. But anything else you want to talk about before we have to let you go?
Damn.
Well, no, I didn't mean like that, but like we're running out
boy.
of time. We got both coming up.
He hasn't even done the 3-minute countdown yet.
He's got plenty of time.
My apologies. It's not what I meant. It's not
Wrap
what
it
I
up.
meant
So
at
you're
all.
wrapping up.
You're sucked today, Anthony. You want to
That's
wrap
not
up?
what I meant at
Get
all.
out of here.
I'm just saying we're
I
running
know
out
what
of
it
time. I
means
looked
when
down
you
at
guys
the
want to
clock.
take a break early.
Yeah,
All right.
Spencer. And we're gonna
I
wrap
just
it up.
looked down at the clock and saw we were running out of time. That's all I was saying.
Oh man.
No,
Open mic tonight.
Yes.
Are you performing at all this weekend? You have
Are
any
we gonna see you
upcoming
as an opener?
shows?
Yeah, no, I'm not on the shows at the club this weekend, but I will be in Exeter performing at a taco hamburger
stop.
spot for a free comedy show. I'm doing 15 minutes. I don't know what's gonna happen. dude.
Really?
I don't think anyone's gonna go. It's a free show. Like really, like
Where the hell is Exeter?
Exeter is. Over
I know
there
I've seen
by-
the sign.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
It's
actually
up there by
been to this.
Visalia, like going up to like the mountains and stuff.
Oh, so it's not like that place. I always talk to my son. You see that
McFarland.
that exit where it's all Z's and a Y and
Oh,
a X?
Zizix.
I thought it was Zeke's.
Is it Zeke's?
No
I've
one
heard
knows.
it said
No
a million
one knows.
different ways.
Said,
No
yeah.
one knows how to actually pronounce
Hey,
it.
there's a YouTube video of a guy going to the end of it, and if you go to the end of the road there, Bronny's selling his shoes. And
that little stand at the end.
that's
I know we'll have Flail tomorrow. And I know you guys are going to do a
man.
couple more shows on this tour. Anything else scheduled or planned?
I got a lot of fun stuff. Just follow me on Instagram at Banfany, and then you'll see where I'm up. I got it. I'm every for the next every weekend for the next month and a half. I'm like doing something. So I'll
Security?
be next security. Yes, security. I'll be doing pat downs to the extra hot men only this weekend.
Chunky.
So, chunky.
When is the next show that you're going to be with Chris? Because then you say you're going to do a couple with him on
Next
this tour?
Saturday, we are in Clovis, the 25th. We were in
Nice.
Clovis, California.
Oh, nice. Actually, I think one of the listeners actually had commented that he's going to be watching the two of you at that.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. That's crazy. Hopefully he shows up and asks for a picture of my feet. So if you're listening, come talk
Every
to me.
time.
We
There's
were doing
always
so well.
one mention of feet. I was
So
actually
well.
I was sitting here thinking maybe the shoes was going to deter this. We didn't have to go that route.
Oh
But
no.
no, we're always leaning back that way.
Yeah, and
Full
no
circle
one
moments.
joked about that during the roast. Surprisingly, I thought that would have been a fun angle.
An easy one, yeah.
and it's almost too easy. Too
Well,
easy.
maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he just lost interest because he knew that this was all just going to be feet jokes.
Hey, feet jokes. Either way, I'm horny. So I don't know if we can say that this more early.
It's not even 9 in the morning.
I know. It's like, what
Hey,
is
morning
going
wood.
on?
Come on, guys.
Boing.
Oh Lord.
Let's wrap it up.
Jeez.
No, I'm just playing. Open mic 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah, doors at 6, shows at 7. Man, a lot of fun stuff. Come hang out, dude. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. I don't know if we're leaving a break yet, but
No. I'm gonna make you stress this one out.
Ooh, I've heard that before.
We're gonna add an extra 10 minutes. Matter of fact,
I am just
All
gonna
I
have
need
to
is
sit
2.
here because
I was gonna ask you- Greg Fitzsimmons, he performed at the old one, right?
Yes, he
I
did.
believe I saw him
Yes,
because
he-
he is one of the funniest old men I've ever seen. And this is a crazy week. Not only have we had 3 Kill Tony guests on the
Yes.
show this week, but we've brought up Ellen 2 days in a row.
Mhm.
I have a story about Ellen too.
Do you really? I was like, please share. And hopefully it has
She
nothing to
called
do with
ice
me.
on me and my family.
Oh Lord.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, dude.
So
I've been listening to Greg for a minute, and he's talked about that Ellen thing, and I don't want to get sued or anything, but apparently she was a bad person.
Oh no,
I've heard
I think
that.
that's pretty well established
Yeah.
now.
And
Even Steve, like the nicest comedian you've ever met,
yeah,
he's been taking shots at Ellen. He's like, we couldn't even play catch with a football anywhere close to her area.
right, yeah. And dude, Steve is hilarious too. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but if you got to pick one or the other, dude. Actually, I'm not going to say that. Go to both shows, but
Yes, go
Steve
to both
is
shows. That's the answer.
Steve is gonna do a lot. Like he does a lot of topical stuff. Like he'll make
Yeah.
a Trump joke, or he'll make a
That's what I should have. I meant to actually ask him about that, how he got started with his Trump impression, because I heard that on Kill Tony, and he is spot on.
Oh, really? I haven't even heard the impression.
You haven't heard the impression?
Yeah, I haven't heard the impression.
It's
I
on,
just
go to his Instagram. It's one of his first videos.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So he's more topical.
I would say he's more topical. I'm not like again. I said Mikey Winfield was like I totally got that wrong, but he's I'd say he's more topical. I'd say he's more topical, and Greg Fitzsimmons is maybe they're both observational.
Greg is funny because when I saw him, he was trying to play some crowd work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the crowd was a stoned or what, but it was like, hey man, and he ripped that guy a whole new one. But he's got a video up that I was prepping for, and it was a guy that was eating cake in the middle of his set. So he was starting to talk to him, and the guy was still eating. He's like, dude, put the damn cake down. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. But no, I mean, you've seen them both. I mean, what is the different styles, and what can the listeners expect at one of these shows?
Look, they're both seasoned vets. They've both been doing it a long time. Again, I think the easiest, like maybe, I'm sure Greg will talk about politics, but I think Greg is maybe a little more long form. Maybe does like a longer, like observational type thing. But last time I remember watching Steve Byrne, I just remember him being rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would just be a quick bit about this, and then he'd go to an impression on this, and then a joke about this. Like, not that Greg isn't that funny either, but it's just a different style, maybe a little more longer form.
Yeah.
The jokes are there, but he does have funny things to say. But again, Steve Byrne is just more topical, short type things, and they're both really funny. Again, seasoned.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Over 50 years of experience.
We're lucky to have, and even on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Like, this is Betts is swinging, man.
100%.
These are cool shows.
And then
dude.
Sunday is a social media star, but he's from another country, so maybe he's got some talent. Who knows?
Okay.
But it's a good weekend for comedy, honestly.
Yes, sir.
All around Baker.
Starting tonight.
Yes.
At open mic. How many comics do you usually put up?
Over 30.
Really?
The last two mics we've had over 30 comedians. So and then before that I was like over 40. So
Hell yeah.
listen, and if there's no Condors game on or nothing,
Not tonight.
Come check it. I know it's
No
Steve was
Condors
giving you guys
tonight. I know.
crap
He
for
set him
playing
up.
Condor.
I was just telling him if he's a hockey fan, he should go check out a game. That's all I was saying.
Or the only one that's scheduled right now is tomorrow night during his show. So I like what you did
I
there.
was saying the playoffs. Damn.
Hey, your knowledge of hockey was pretty impressive too. You're saying like I was thinking of that, so I'm like Burdick knows his hockey.
I have watched for a while. I'm a casual. I'm not going to sit here and say I know.
It sounded like you knew what you were talking about. Dude.
Oh, I try. I mean,
like me
I
and
do read a
feet.
ton.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. You and feet is probably the same.
Well, go out.
Athlete's foot.
The Well Comedy Club open mic tonight. How much at the door?
It's a $2 at a minimum though. But if you're gonna go out to have drinks and food anyway, just have it at the club and enjoy the show for free. No cover charge.
Do it. And if you want to
Fantastic.
try comedy, they just hit you up at Bamfany.
Bamfany, or just come talk to me at the show. Say, where's the host? And I'll shake your hand and give you the rundown.
Fantastic. Is there a specific time you would prefer them show up before
Just
the
show
show?
up before 6:45, guys. That's it. If you're really listening, want to come check it out, come talk to me
Yeah.
before 6:45.
So if your drunk friend at the open mic wants to try this, they shouldn't walk up to you and say, "Hey, I want to get on stage."
He's got
There-
smokes.
And honestly, if you got smokes, and I'm talking about cigarettes, not crack, guys. All right. I heard those Wednesday guys, and you're talking about crack.
I know, that's what I was wondering.
I don't know where the hell that
Man
went.
did what? Like, no. All right, sir. We do have to take a break this time. I appreciate you coming
Thank
in, though.
you,
We'll
guys.
see
You're
you next
awesome.
week.
Appreciate you.
Let's take a break. We got Bolt Brady on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. We're also streaming video live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Come join us on all of those social media platforms, as well as TikTok and Instagram as well. Yes. Like, share, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. But it's time to talk to our friend Bolt Brady from the BLEAV Network, and Bolt Brady and his bro, as the NBA play-in tournament has begun. We got one more round, 2 more games to get to before the actual playoffs start, and we would love to get his thoughts on all of it. Sir, good morning.
What's happening, guys?
Not a whole ton. First, though, before we get to basketball, I would be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts on the Masters.
Well, I didn't think Rory would be able to go back-to-back, so that was pretty impressive.
I agree. And honestly, I thought he was going to throw it all away. I was texting Sparky on Sunday saying, don't be surprised if he throws it away and Scotty makes a comeback.
Rory.
All it took was a couple inches on 17, and we could have had a playoff. But Rory pulls it off, gets his second green jacket. Are you kind of drinking the Kool-Aid like a lot of these other people are right now and saying that Rory may never lose at Augusta again?
That'd be tough to do, but
I
did read how he was flying up there like pretty much every day for the last 3 weeks.
How do you feel about that? I personally don't see a big deal in this. If you won the Masters tournament, you get an honorary membership there, and if you have the means, I mean, I would do it.
Right. It's one of the best courses in the world. If you can play it.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's like saying that any good athlete shouldn't practice before something big happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me why everybody on the internet was so up in arms that he was taking flights to Augusta and back home.
But never losing again out there.
No, it's crazy.
It's
That's
about as crazy
claim.
as KG's championship selections, which I already bounced off Bolt during the break.
Yeah, we love our friend Kimball. He is our wrestling analyst, and he is a casual basketball fan, but he is a Laker fan. And he told us late last night that he plans on rooting for the Warriors and the Hornets to make it all the way to the championship game.
Well, I was telling Sparky, I'm not sure if the Hornets get past their next game, actually.
They were one of the hottest teams in basketball coming in, but I agree with you. If Bam Adebayo doesn't go down in that game the other day, I don't think they win that one.
Right. Well, yeah. So that's actually a best bet for people out there is I like Orlando plus the 3.5 against the Hornets. The Hornets, like LaMelo was 2 for 16 from 3-ball land, and that's not going to cut it.
No.
What'd you think about the? Did you think it was intentional?
To be honest, to be 100% honest, I'm not a big LaMelo fan, but I didn't see a problem with that. I kind of thought he lost his balance a little bit.
I said the same thing. I don't think he was meaning to hurt him. I think Sparky said it perfectly the other day. He was just trying to affect the play.
Right.
And whether it would have been a foul or not is obvious. But, I mean, I don't think he was actually going out to hurt Bam.
No, I don't think so either.
So, to suspend him or really punish him for that, I don't think
you just got a fine and a flagrant.
I think the fine is perfect. What do you make of the Orlando Magic, though? I mean, when they made the trade for Desmond Bane in the offseason, I was one of the first people that said this was going to be a great step forward for them because they were a young up-and-coming team. But it doesn't seem like they're living up to that at all. And it seemed like they would have an easy game against the Sixers, but it went the complete opposite direction.
No, I know they have been stumbling a little bit. The thing is now being at home against the Hornets, like I wouldn't be totally surprised if the Hornets won, but I would be surprised if they cover. It doesn't sound like very many points, but over a possession on the road is a lot.
That's my thought as well. A lot of these games have been within 5 points. Do you think that one of these teams that'll be playing to get into the playoffs itself has a chance to upset their opponent?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Just because it's so top heavy. But I do think, I mean, it would be fun to watch the Warriors play the Thunder. We were watching the game last night with my 13-year-old and 10-year-old, the two boys. And I said, man, you guys are super lucky to be able to watch Steph.
We said the same thing this morning. There is nobody that has ever been able to shoot a basketball like Steph Curry. I don't think there ever will be again.
Yeah.
Which is
I was sitting there debating with myself. I'm like, man, who's more fun to watch, MJ or Steph? Because that's how much of a show he puts on.
think about it in a sense, or I was thinking about it in a sense of just think of how many generational players we've watched in this last 2 decades, 3 decades in general, and not just in basketball, but in many other sports. It seems like we're really having this surge of just ridiculous talent. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
there are moments in the NBA where I sit there and look at every team and say they have a bona fide star on dang near every single NBA team, and I don't think you could say that about the teams in the 70s and the 80s.
No, probably not. But we are getting to that point. It's kind of fun to watch too, where they're going to be passing the baton here pretty soon because Steph, Durant, and LeBron. I mean, they don't have too many years left.
No, absolutely not. And they're going to have to hand it over to somebody who's not an American basketball player. And I don't know exactly how American fans are going to take that. But
Right.
how do you look at this playoff run coming up? Is there any team that you're favoring over anybody else?
I do think, a lot of people are talking about the Spurs and the Nuggets if it gets to that series, and people think the Spurs are going to move on from that. I disagree. I think Wemby's a great player, and they're an up-and-coming team, but, you have to take your lumps a little bit in the playoffs. I think the Nuggets will end up playing the Thunder there.
Okay.
I can see that. And is there any sleeper type team that you can keep an eye out on?
I don't know about sleeper, but I think one team that a lot of people are disagreeing with is a lot of people think that the Pistons are going to get past the Cavs, and I don't think so. I think it's going to be the Cavs and the Celtics.
Really? See, I've heard that a couple times today. I'm a Cavaliers fan, grew up one, so I obviously have a little bit of bias, but I have my doubts. James Harden has not showed up in the playoffs, man. I know he had a 40-point game last year, but that was the only game he showed up to last year. Everything else, he was non-existent.
See, I think I'm looking at the other way around, that Donovan Mitchell's never had a James Harden before.
And neither has Evan Mobley. So,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see if that's going to be a positive. I mean, watching Darius Garland last night with the Clippers, he still shined in his own way. And I want to bounce this off you as well. We gave a lot of grief to Doc Rivers the other day when he decided to walk away. And our basketball official came on and said, why does Doc still get head coaching jobs anyway? He's known as one of the most successful, but also one of the most failed head coaches the NBA has ever seen. Why do we not say the same thing about Ty Lue? I mean, should we not be saying the same thing about Ty Lue here?
No kidding. I know Ty Lue does get this reputation of being a really smart coach. Not saying he is or not, but it probably helped those years when he was with LeBron.
But he hasn't beaten Steph Curry once, and this game you would assume would be a runaway.
Right. Well, last night was just, turn back the clock with Draymond playing the defense.
Right.
He checked. I think it was late in the second quarter, and I go, oh, Draymond's covering Kawhi now. And, man, that fourth quarter, Kawhi literally didn't score a basket until like 30 seconds left in the game.
And the same thing with Al Horford, man. I was having flashbacks. I was like, what year is it?
Incredible that the three people that were the most pivotal players for the Warriors to win that game last night were all on minutes restrictions because of injuries.
I know. That was scary, too, because the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Clippers started to get ahead. In fact, they were up 13 points. I'm like, what are we doing?
I couldn't remember if it had reached double digits or not. I remember it at least got to 9, but I mean, that's also why I say, why is Ty Lue so coveted or even still have a job? How did you blow a 13-point lead when you have one of the best defensive basketball players in the entire NBA and he's not guarding Steph for some reason?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a meltdown.
I don't understand. I really don't.
Well, there is a lot of Laker fans and where we're at. So I had to ask, Lakers, Rockets, even if Luka comes back, maybe misses a game or two.
I hear he's not, though.
I'm hearing the same thing with Reeves as well.
Yeah.
But say they get them back and they're, if they're lucky, they're at, 1-1 when they come back. Do you see the Lakers getting out of this series?
I mean, if Luka's not there, I think everyone would agree there's no chance.
No.
I do think that the Lakers are gonna be tough this first game, and LeBron, he's not the type of person that's just going to get out of the way and let someone plow over him.
Mm-hmm.
He'll put up a fight. So I think if Luka comes back, yeah, I do think they have a chance.
So before we get to your best bets for this first round of the playoffs, I wanted to bounce this question off you because I did the same with our basketball official on Monday. What team right now are you looking at that's in the NBA playoffs? If they don't make it deep or really just have the run that they're expecting, are going to just blow up the roster? Which one are you expecting?
That's an easy one for me. Probably the Knicks.
You think so? So if the Knicks don't sniff the finals, we're seeing a Giannis trade most likely in the future, you're thinking?
I mean, if the Knicks get stopped by the Celtics again, I mean, everyone there has to be like, okay, this isn't working.
Right.
And see, I'm hearing the same thing now that Miami's out, that they might blow up their team and go hard after Giannis.
They need to.
But I don't know if what they have will get Giannis over there.
Right. Well, I could see why everyone wants Giannis. I mean, that guy, he is such a game changer, and he's just been a champ, kind of taking the hits down there, you know, in Milwaukee. And he's always been such a class act as far as sticking behind the organization and stuff. But I'm ready for him to go to a contender.
I agree. And it's been far too long since he's been playing on a team that actually has a chance to win a championship, which is crazy to say because it wasn't that long ago when they won theirs.
Right, I know.
It's wild. But we've already kind of talked about the Hornets and Magic game. How do you feel about the Suns and Warriors? And what are some of your best bets for the first round?
Wow. So the Suns Warriors, I mean, I watch the Warriors more than any team in the NBA, and I have for years. And I just hope they can muster up the energy on Friday night. I do think that the Warriors will be able to get that game. I think they'll be able to have one more. But it's not going to be easy. And the line says that it's only 2.5. As far as a best bet goes, though, besides Orlando getting 3.5 against the Hornets, Saturday, the Nuggets take on Minnesota, which will be another great series. And that over-under is 232.5, and that's a lot of points in the playoffs. I'll take the under there.
Yeah, that is a lot of points.
Well, I mean, do you think there's any chance that the Minnesota Timberwolves figure out a way to upset the Nuggets this year? They seem to run into each other every season in the playoffs.
I know they really do. And they always have great series, too. I wouldn't be totally surprised. I mean, the thing that scares me a little bit about the Nuggets, I mean, their offense is incredible, and Jamal Murray's probably in the best shape of his life. Their defense sometimes is a little suspect. And so I do think, you know, that scares me a little bit.
That's a good point, especially when you're going up a guy in Anthony Edwards who could make you regret that every single night. So, sir, thank you so much for your time as always.
And this time next week, I mean, we'll be talking the day of the NFL draft.
Absolutely.
Plus, we'll have some NBA playoffs to talk about.
That is something I wanted to ask you. Is there, and not to say that we were interested in doing this, but can you bet on the draft order? Can you?
Yeah, so I heard you guys talking about that this morning. You definitely can.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
there's
you
a lot.
can bet on anything. That is incredible.
Yeah, no, you can actually draft. You can actually bet on what position someone's going to get drafted. So like over under, 15. And so there's who's going to be the first running back picked off the board. All kinds of stuff.
That's insane.
I guess paying for Todd McShay's mock draft actually does pay off some way. That's crazy. Bolt, thank you so much for your time, my friend. We will talk to you next week.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you, sir. Are we going to take the break, my friend? No? All right. We'll get into some final stories. The day before we get out of here, wrestling fans, I apologize. I know I've been promising you wrestling talk all week long. I've been trying to get
2 hours tomorrow.
Yes, we have 2 hours tomorrow, and I promise you all 2 of those hours since it is the Friday before WrestleMania. I even contemplated calling in KG for a second day of the week. I even thought about it, and we might still do that. Depends on what his entire schedule looks like and how much we have to get to, because there are a ton of stories that ESPN has dropped. But before we get into those tomorrow, there's some other stories in the world of sports today, including an update on this Puka Nacua situation. Now, if you haven't been following the Puka Nacua situation since he has taken the initiative and sent himself to rehab to hopefully quell these behavioral issues that he's been having, the woman in question, or I shouldn't say the woman in question, the woman that is accusing him of doing all this stuff, Madison Atibi, has been trying to get a restraining order against him and has been requested or it's been requested now multiple times and denied because the courts do not have enough information to really grant her this restraining order. But now they have dropped it altogether because her attorney, Joseph Carr, says they're just focusing on this civil lawsuit that is currently filed against Nacua. So it seems like they will be moving forward with some sort of lawsuit against the wide receiver of the Rams. It's unfortunate, but I'm hoping that we could all just kind of find a way to make this just go away as easy as possible. And I know they will. There's going to be some sort of money transfer. We all know how this goes. But when it comes to Puka, I think, again, much like we said with a couple other athletes this offseason.
Where's the video?
Well, yes, 100%. I still want to see the video because this would absolve you and would probably stop that court case in its tracks. So if you have a video that does prove that she's lying and all of this stuff isn't what it seems, drop the video.
I'm sure whoever has the video wants a cut
Absolutely.
paycheck because what videos I've seen, Puka's knocked out.
Right. Which maybe that's the video they're talking about. Who knows? Maybe. But at this point, I just hope we find a way to either come to an agreement here outside of court so you don't have to take this as far as you need to in a civil sense. But also, I hope that Puka can finally find some way to just center himself and come back to a light where, I don't know, he can become respectable again as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because I don't need you going down the same paths as so many others. An Antonio Brown, a Tyreek Hill. I mean, this kid is very smart. And I know he's just going through a really bad breakup, much like some of the rest of these guys that are going through it. James Pierce.
I thought he was just chilling with the queen.
Again.
They were saying, I mean, there's some officials or teammates that have said that he hasn't been right since they got knocked out.
Right. And again, that's the problem. And maybe it's an Antonio Brown situation. Maybe that is the case. But I hope that we could find a way not only to come back to a center for Puka so these antics can be quelled and, we go back to more of a professional light. Let's say it that way. But we'll see what happens. I don't want to sit here and dwell on it too much. I like Puka Nacua as a player, and I just hope for the best for him. And honestly, with this court case, as Sparky said, drop the video. Just drop the video. If we all have a video that proves that Puka is, in the right, or I shouldn't say in the right, Puka is not what it appears.
A biter?
A biter. Well, there's clearly a biter. She got pictures of that. You could see every tooth in this man's mouth. But if it isn't as bad as it seems, just drop the video. We can absolve all of this. The court case, the judge won't even take the case. You kidding? We all move on from this situation, and Puka hopefully just goes back to being Puka.
Well, join us tomorrow, WrestleMania Friday. We'll have our boy Chris Flail, the funny man, Flail comedy, as well as Kyle Pitzer from Dionysus Brewing.
And we can help you out with all the major stories from the world of wrestling. But until then, Sparky, let's get out of here.